welcome to Saturday morning Zoom. Okay, so we are working our way through the 8 limbs of yoga as our little yoga philosophy theme to start the day. I have been doing these as little videos on social media, so if you ever want a recap of these themes, you go to my Instagram, you can scroll down and there's like, 2 or 3 minute video, just sort of overview of each of these themes. But this week we are kind of having a little break because we've done the first, 5 limbs of yoga. Last week we did pratyahara, withdrawal from the senses. And the first 5 are all about the outside world, or the first 4 are about the outside world. Pratyahara is about our senses, so the interface with the outside world. And then the last 3 are quite often taken separately and seen together, and they actually are in the 3rd book of the Sutras, or the 3rd chapter. It's not a long book, it's quite concise, because they are more about mindfulness and meditation. So they're slightly separate in that respect. So I wanted to just take a week to kind of give an overview of them. The last 3, so Sutra 3.4, the last 3 limbs, when the final 3 limbs are practiced together as a single process, this is samayama. So the last of the 3 limbs is samadhi, which is kind of, I suppose you could call it enlightenment, or a very, very deeply meditative state, a very mindful state. And it literally, so samayama literally is complete restraint of the mind. It's not a rigid process, but a delicate balance of holding on and letting go. So it's, it's not, meditation is not a rigid gripping, forcing the mind into mindfulness. It's that finding that equilibrium between no effort, but maintaining focus. So that's what we're going to be talking about over the next 3 weeks. And samadhi might never be attained, but samayama is achieved whenever the last 3 limbs are present and there is a route to insight and wisdom. So I'm going to stop waffling in a minute, but I will just say that the Buddha said that nirvana is any single tiny moment without suffering. So some of these, particularly these last 3 limbs, they can seem a bit inaccessible if you don't have an established, and if you're not meditating for an hour a day, you don't have a fully established practice, you're like, well, it's not for me, it's not relevant. But actually, any time that you are just sitting still, watching the birds singing in the trees, listening to birds singing in the trees, clouds in the sky, any moment without suffering, where you're not like, worrying about something, you could call that samayama, and that is part of the focus of what we're doing. So with that in mind, let's come to a comfortable seat. So you might be cross-legged, you might have your legs out in front, you might be sitting on something, but finding some way to sit comfortably for a couple of minutes. Lengthen the spine, but don't make it rigid, and then feel balanced left to right. And check in with your body. So how is your body feeling today? You might close the eyes or soften the gaze and just notice how it feels in the moment. And then tuning into your energy. Do you have loads of energy, or are you a bit slower today? And then checking in with the breath. Not trying to change it, but just noticing your breath, where you feel it. Is it long or short, deep or shallow? And if it's stopped or gone shallow, then just relaxing and letting it come back. And then we move awareness again to the mind, the thoughts and the emotions, and see if we can shift out of the driver's seat into the witness seat. Can we, at least for the next hour, just allow the thoughts to come and go? If you catch yourself, falling into to-do lists or whatever it might be, just notice and bring yourself back to the present moment and the experience of the practice. And then we'll set an intention. You've put aside some time to practice yoga today. What do you want to feel more of or be more of in 55 minutes' time? What is the intention here? Whatever comes to mind, make it positive and present tense. An example would be, I hold on and I let go. Your words will be whatever your words are. Silently state them to yourself 3 times now. Breathing in, let that intention land within you. As you breathe out, let it expand. 2 more breaths like that. Once you've done that 3 times, let the intention go. And then just feel grounded. Feel the floor beneath you. Points of contact with whatever is beneath you, connecting you to the earth. Feel the building, the space around you, the people in the building, the community around the building, all the people you know, all the people that you don't know. Feel yourself part of this huge, beautiful universe. And from that space of being connected, that's where we begin our practice. So if eyes are closed, gently blinking them open, and we're going to start today with square breath, or cube breath, box breath. So it's in and out through the nose, if that's possible. Might not be possible for me today because I've got a cold, so we'll see how that goes. But what we'll do is we breathe, we'll start by breathing in for a count of 3, holding for a count of 3, out for a count of 3, hold for a count of 3, and we'll do that a couple of times. And then we'll extend to in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And we'll do 4 of those. If you find that you get to the end of that and you're gasping for breath, it's too long for you to hold the breath, then by all means adapt it, but we're aiming for an equal parts breath. If you don't like retaining the breath, holding the breath, the pauses at the bottom of the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale, then by all means change it, adapt it to suit you. So you might, but we're aiming for an equal parts breath. So if you're doing it without the pauses, you might just breathe in for 4 and out for 4, or in for 5 and out for 5. We're aiming for a balancing breath. And the idea with the holds is that the theme today is balancing, holding on and letting go. So we're doing a breath where it's a balanced holding on and letting go. Okay, get comfy. If you are seated, however you're seated, have a little move within that seat. Think about the space that you're going to breathe into. I always find I have to adjust the waistband on my leggings. Maybe a little twist side to side, a little roll of the shoulders, just waking the torso up, all the muscles that we're going to use for breathing. Maybe round the back a little bit, maybe lift and open the chest a little bit, just to free up ribs, diaphragm, maybe a little circle around. And the other way, and then we're going to we'll start with, I will count the breath for you, and as I said, if you don't like it, you can adapt that count. We'll start with just 2 deep breaths, longer, slightly longer, slower breaths, and then I will count the breath for you. So softening the gaze or closing the eyes, and we breathe in and out through the nose if that's available to you. Breathing all the way in, breathing all the way out. 1 more of those. And then we'll breathe in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Take a nice long slow breath in. If If it would feel nice, you might hold it at the top of the in-breath for a few seconds. But whenever you're ready, just releasing that breath and then dropping into stillness for a moment and noting any effects from the practice. Okay, and then we're going to start with some gentle neck stretching. We're going to imagine that we've got a paintbrush sticking out the top of our heads and a piece of paper flat on the ceiling above us. And we're going to start with a very small circle, but imagine we're using that paintbrush sticking straight out at the top of our head to paint a circle on the piece of paper above our heads, going really slowly around one way. And if it feels okay, if it feels good, just gently and gradually making those circles a little bit bigger, but not dropping the head all the way back when we go around the back. The neck can be a little bit delicate around the back, so just not going to 100% there. One more time, nice and slowly that way. And then pausing and making it a small circle the first time, but going back round the other way. So painting your circles the other way round. And it's kind of like you're painting a spiral. So the circles start small. Then as you feel into that movement of the neck, gradually making them a little bit bigger. One more time, nice and slowly around that way. Coming back up to centre, removing paintbrush from the top of the head and putting it in your mouth. Symbolic paintbrush if you like. Taking your piece of paper and bringing it so that it's flat in front of you. And then we're going to imagine that we're going to do our spirals again. So starting with a small circle going around one way and then gently and gradually spiraling that circle outwards. So painting a big circle on the paper in front of you with the imaginary paintbrush between your teeth. One more time, nice and slowly, big circle. And then coming back to centre, starting at the middle again, starting with a small circle, going the other way. Gradually and gently making that circle bigger. Subtle different planes that the neck can move through. Very complex joint, the neck, joints. Last one round that way and then coming back to neutral, and then we'll slowly just let chin drop down towards chest, let back of neck lengthen. So taking a nice deep in breath there and a long slow breath out as gravity just gently draws your head down, chin towards chest. And then gently lifting the head again, and we'll take a couple of shoulder circles. Oh, nice big juicy shoulder circles. Sometimes they just feel so good, don't they? And then we're going to take legs out in front. Legs straightish. If knees don't want to be flat, they don't have to be. They might have a little bend in. But we're going to point and flex the toes. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. And then point one, flex the other. And then we're going to interlace fingers behind the left leg. And draw the left knee in towards us, sitting up tall and straight. And then we're going to bend and straighten. And I say straighten, the leg definitely might not be coming up too straight, but just flexing and extending the knee joint. Nice and gently. So a couple with the toe pointed. And then try a couple with the heel flexed, heel pressing away. And then bring the sole of that foot to the floor, just to the left of the right leg. Sit up really tall, and we're going to take the right hand to the floor just behind us and over to the right. We're going to take left fingertips up towards the ceiling, and we're going to tip away from that left leg. So the sole of the left foot is on the floor, left hip is pressing down into the floor, left hand is reaching up and over to the right, right hand supporting on you on the floor on the other side. Taking a nice big breath into that left side of the ribs. Gently floating that hand back down again. And then we're going to hug that left knee in. So we're going to turn to look over the left shoulder. Sitting up really tall and straight. Don't use the arms as a crowbar to crowbar yourself round. We're trying to use the flexibility, the mobility and the strength of the torso and the spine to gently twist and look over the left shoulder. Right leg is straight, right leg engaged, right toes pointing to the ceiling. Nice big breath in to stretch into the twist. And then gently floating back round to centre, straighten the left leg, point left toes to the ceiling, interlace hand behind right leg, and straighten and bend the right knee. So part of the work here is trying to keep the torso sitting up tall and straight. So when you draw the knee up, the temptation is to let the pelvis tilt backwards. So we're working here to sit up tall and straight. A couple of times with the toe pointed. Couple of times with the foot flexed. And then bringing the sole of that foot to the floor, sitting up really tall. We'll take the left hand to the floor, out to the left. Right fingertips reach for the ceiling. Right sole of the right foot is on the floor and we tip away from that bent knee. Tipping over to the left, press the right hip down into the floor, feel long from right fingertips to right hip. Breathing into that space on the right hand side. Then floating right hand down to the floor behind you, hugging that right knee in. Sit up really tall and straight and turn to look over the right shoulder. Don't crowbar yourself around. Use the strength of the torso. Think about all those complicated muscles around the spine, the belly, the shoulders, that are gently twisting you so you can look over the right shoulder. Left hand might be hugging right knee. Nice deep breath into the twist. Left leg engaged, toes point to the ceiling on the left foot. And then gently floating back round to centre. If you're towards the back of your yoga mat, move down a little bit so you've got a bit of space behind you. I love this little flow. We haven't done this one for a while. So we start, again, no, knees don't have to be pressed flat. Knees might have a little bend in, that's absolutely fine. But we're going to breathe in and reach up. And we're going to breathe out, and no forcing, just gently floating the hands down to come down to the floor, either side of your legs, wherever they come to. So it's just a gentle stretch. And we're going to breathe into the back of the body. Breathe out. No, again, no forcing, let go of expectations about how far you're going to fold. We're just letting the back of the body lengthen. And then we're going to breathe in and reach fingertips for the ceiling. We're going to breathe out, bringing hands back to the floor just behind you. And as we do that, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the floor. 90-degree bend in the knees and feet hip distance apart. Press down into the feet and down into the hands. You might just hover the hips. Maybe they come a bit higher. Or maybe you come up to reverse tabletop. So you want thighs parallel. It's quite a big stretch for the front of the shoulders, so be gentle with it. Gently floating bottom down, straighten legs. And we breathe in, reach up above the head. We breathe out, we fold over the legs. So we're going to do that a few times through with the breath. Matching it with your breath, we might all be doing it at different times, that's fine, but trying to make it slow and mindful. Breathing out, palms and soles come to the floor. Breathing in, we lift the hips as high as feels good for you. Breathing out, you float back down. How closely can you match the movements with the breath? How present can you be with the sensations of the body? The idea of holding on and letting go. So we're holding on to the awareness in the present moment and sort of surrendering, letting go into the practice so that you can be wholly present here. Let's go one more time. Next time you come down, give the hands a shake out. It's quite a bit for wrists, isn't it? Maybe give them a circle around, a flick up and down, side to side. Give them a good shake. I did a thing with a dog this week. We're going to come round onto all fours. There was a bulldog that I saw, and I had a buggy with me, and it was terrified of the buggy, and I could see it was really scared, and the owner took it a different way so it didn't have to come past us. And as it walked off, this bulldog just went, "Ugh." and then looked back at me with the dirtiest look you've ever seen. But then he just walked on. And animals do that, don't they? Like that shake, it's them resetting their nervous system. So being aware, you know, and it's really helpful. If you want to reset your nervous system, you can go to the toilet and have a shake out your hands, shake your shoulders. It's a really useful tool, that shake out. It works. Okay, all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to do thread the needle. We haven't done it for a little while, but it's a lovely one. You might, if you've got a cushion or a pillow or something handy, if the floor feels like it's a long way away for your ear, you might want to have a cushion handy at the head of your mat or a yoga block or something. But we're going to breathe in. Let's take left fingertips as we breathe in and reach up for the ceiling. As we breathe out, thread the left hand underneath the right armpit, bend the right elbow and bring your left ear down towards the mat. So you might have something to come underneath your head if that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to do that a few times with the breath. So as we breathe in, we reach left fingertips up towards the ceiling. As we breathe out, we float left ear down towards the floor, or the cushion, or the block. So just taking a few more of those matched with your breath, making them long, slow and mindful. Next time you come down, pausing with the ear down and gently and very gently bring awareness into the right fingertips on the mat. So pressing either palm or fingertips into the floor just to gently stack that right shoulder on top of left. And you might stay there, or maybe the back of the right hand comes up onto your lower back. Maybe it reaches for the fingertips reach for the ceiling, or maybe you can reach your right hand all the way around your back, the back of your body, and bring it to the inside of the left thigh or round to the other side of your torso. Have a little fidget, get settled and pause linger for a breath or two. If you don't like it or it's painful, then you can unthread and come out at any time. One more breath. And when you're ready, if it's not there already, bring right hand back to the floor by your face. Breathe all the way out. And then as you breathe in, unthread, left fingertips reach up for the ceiling one last time. And then float that left hand down towards the floor. Then we're going to take right leg back behind us. Right leg is straight, left knee is down, right toes are on the floor. We press gently back into the right heel. Really gently, just lengthening heel from heel, calf, maybe into the back of the thigh, taking a long breath there. And floating that knee down again. Then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to breathe in, right fingertips reach for the ceiling this time. Breathing out, right hand under left armpit, right ear towards block. Gently and slowly twice more. No, more than twice more. Let's go 3 or 4 times more. One or 2 more times. And then when you're ready, threading, right ear finds block, blanket, mat, cushion, whatever you're resting it on. Little bit of pressure into the left hand. Stack left shoulder on top of right if that feels good. Left hand might stay on the floor, or it might reach up for the ceiling, or maybe the back of the hand comes to the lower back, or maybe that left hand reaches all the way around and finds the inside of the right thigh. But finding fidgeting, having a fidget and a fiddle and a settle, and then finding a posture you can stay in and hold for a few breaths. One more breath. Then when you're ready, bringing left hand back to find the floor by your face. Unthreading right hand, reaching it up towards the ceiling one last time. Open out that way. Gently floating that hand back down towards the floor. And then we're going to take left leg back behind. Find the toes on the floor, gently press back into the left heel. Feeling the stretch through left calf, Achilles, thigh maybe. One long breath there. And then we're going to make our way up to standing. So I'll give you the option to come via downward facing dog. If you don't like down dog or it's not for you today, then find some other way up. And if you're up for a couple of breaths in downward dog, tuck the toes, press the hips up. Keep the knees soft to begin with. And then very gently, keep the heels high, knees soft. And then very gently straighten one leg and then the other, gently pressing one heel down and then the other, maybe a little wag of the tail side to side. Feeling into the lengthening of the back of the body, pressing chest towards thighs, pressing floor away with palms. Release head and neck. And then no hurry, maybe another long slow breath there, and then when you're ready, slowly walking feet in towards hands, walking hands slowly up legs, bringing yourself slowly up to standing. We're going to find slightly wider legged mountain pose today. So feet slightly wider than hip distance and toes pointing out. Now move your weight from left to right. Feel the toes, the heels, all the parts of the foot engaging and connecting with the earth. Find that space where you can stand in the middle. Let the heart rate settle and the breath settle. Bring yourself all the way up to stand. And then we're going to soften the knees. Bend the knees out to the side and they're going to track the middle toes. And we're going to bring palms together at the bottom. Soften the knees a little bit. As we breathe in, hands go wide, palms come together over your head. As you breathe out, bring them back down at the bottom again. So nice long, mindful breaths. You can go at your own pace. If I'm too fast, go slower. And you have the option, if you have any back pain or back problems, you might stay with that version. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, next time as you breathe out, soften the knees, fold forward, bring palms together at the bottom, maybe fingertips brush the floor, press down into the feet, hands go wide, palms come together over your head. Breathing out and breathing in. One more time like that. Coming back up, floating hands down. Now I think it's the strawberry moon, isn't it? Full moon, June moon. And so we have to do a sun salutation today. It would be criminal not to. So we're going to start with, let's do our crescent bend first. So palms, interlace fingers and press palms away above your head. Soften your knees, and I'm not going to mirror you. So we're going to tip over to the left. Gently lengthening down the right hand side, coming back up again, and then we're going to come to goddess pose. So arms are straightish, legs are straightish, like a 5-pointed star. Toes are pointing out in the same direction as knees, and when we breathe out, we bend the knees out and they track the middle toe of the foot, so adjusting the angles of the feet accordingly. So this is goddess pose. Elbows are wide, shoulders drawing back towards each other, palms are wide, knees are wide. We breathe in, straighten arms and legs. We breathe out, we settle down into goddess. You have the option, if you want to, as you exhale, to stick out your tongue. She's quite a fierce goddess. Twice more. And then reaching arms long, bring hands down onto hips. We're going to turn the right foot in, left toes turn to the left. We're going to float arms up to shoulder height. We're going to find triangle pose. So we keep hips and shoulders square to the long edge of the mat. Back leg is straight, front leg might have a little bend in it. If you're hypermobile, don't lock it out. Keep it slightly bent and engaged. We're going to slide over to the left. We're going to float our left hand down onto our left leg. Try not to press on the knee because it will make it extend more. We find triangle pose, so just dipping as far as is comfortable. If it's painful, if it doesn't feel right, always come up a little bit higher. We take one breath there. Imagine somebody pulls on that top hand, pulls you all the way up again, and then we're going to square ourselves to the short edge of the mat. So we're going to face towards that left foot. Hands are going to come on hips. We're going to come towards pyramid pose, and we're just going to fold so both legs are straight or straight-ish. That front one might have a little bend in, particularly if you're hypermobile. Hands might stay on hips and you might come halfway, or you might bring fingertips down towards the floor, or if you have a low yoga block, you might bring hands onto a yoga block, pyramid pose, just taking a breath there. And then we're going to bend that front knee and we're going to bring ourselves down to a low lunge on this side. So the back knee comes down, the back toes untuck, and then we find a low lunge. So we're easing that distance between knee and heel, so that we find a mild stretch on this side. You can keep hands on the floor, or if the floor feels like it's a long way away and you have a yoga block, you might bring hands up onto your yoga block, or a piece of handy furniture if you have one. Stay there for a breath, and then the option is to bring it into a crescent lunge. So this may or may not be right for you. So take a view on whether you want to take arms up and reach for the ceiling, maybe taking a tiny little back bend if it feels all right. This is the crescent moon, if you like. And then we float hands down. We walk them to the front and we're going to come to a side squat. So we roll the hips and shoulders round to face the front. The right toes lift and right leg is straight-ish. The left heel might be down or the left heel might be lifted. Hands might be on the floor in front for support. Take a breath there. And then we walk ourselves slowly over to the other side. Now left leg is straightish, right knee is bent, hips are as low as is comfortable. One breath there. And then we walk our hands round to the right hand side, coming to low lunge on this side. Again, making all those little adjustments so that you find a mild stretch in your hips. Right knee is above right ankle. And you might keep hands on the floor, or you might have hands on a yoga block, or you might have hands on something else for support. Take a breath there, and you can stay there if that feels like plenty for you today, or if you want to, your fingertips might reach for the ceiling, and if that feels good, then maybe you might take a little back bend, but taking a view on what's right for you and your body in this moment. Deep breath in, long breath out, bring hands back down towards the floor, and then we're going to tuck the toes on the back foot, lift the back knee, hop the back foot in and find pyramid pose on this side. So again, both legs are straight-ish. That right knee, the front knee might have a little bend in it, doesn't need to be locked. And you might have fingertips on the floor, you might have fingertips on your thigh, you might have fingertips on the wall or a piece of furniture. You might be halfway, or you might have chest coming towards thigh. Finding where your challenge is, where is the edge of your pose. Taking a breath. Gently and slowly walking yourself all the way up. And then we're going to square hips and shoulders to the long edge of the mat, and we're going to find triangle pose on this side. So we're going to slide over the right leg, right hand floats down onto right leg, left fingertips reach for the ceiling. Where are you coming to? Do you want hand on thigh? Do you want fingertips on shin? Will they reach ankle? Will they reach floor? Do you want to use a block? We're going to hold for a breath or two. And then imagine somebody grabs hold of that top hand and pulls you all the way up. Float your hands down. And let's shake. Let's shake like an angry bulldog. Shake your hands, shake your hips, have a wiggle, flick your feet out. And circle shoulders. Gently circle hips around. Move intuitively. What does your body, we've probably put a bit of tension into our bodies doing what we've just done. Which part of your body needs a circle, a shake, a swing? Is it fingers? Is it wrists? Is it ankles? Is it hips? You need, if you feel silly, you're probably doing it right. Do your hips want a shake? Sounds silly, but it will release tension. And do you want a little forward bend, a backward bend? Where do you move intuitively for a moment or two? Just let the body guide the movement. And then let's find a moment of stillness, heels under hips, middle toes pointing forward, reaching up with the top of the head. Maybe shine the palms forward, find your standing mountain pose, and see how present you can be for just a couple of breaths, present with the sensations of the present moment. And then we're going to bring hands onto hips. I'm going to mirror you now. So we ground down into the right foot, and we'll bring the left toe up to the floor. So we lift the left heel and we bring the foot in front of us, grounding more into that right foot. And then we're going to lift and lower that knee just to gain our balance. You might find it helpful to fix your gaze at a point on the floor in front of you. If it's helpful, you can take your arms out wider for balance. Let the arms do whatever they need to do to help you. Once you've established your balance a little bit, we're going to do a couple of, I think PTs call them gate openers, don't they? So just circling that knee, it comes across the body, up, out, and the toe can touch down in between, just to steady you. One more time, opening the gate that way. And then we're going to do a version of tree pose. So your tree might look like your your left heel on the top of your right foot with your left knee sticking out to the side, trying to keep hips and shoulders square to the front. So that might be tree pose for you today. It might be sole of the foot to the side of the calf. You might have hands on hips or hands out wide or hands on a wall or hands on, if you need balance support, take it. Or maybe the sole of the foot comes to the inside of the thigh. Taking one breath there, you might keep hands on hips for one more breath, or if you want to, you can reach your fingertips wide and high. Take a long, slow breath or two there, seeing how much you can hold on and how much you can let go. Gently and slowly floating hands down. And then we're going to try to come from here to one last pose. So if you can, slide that hand to the inside of the knee and take that knee out to the side. So right hand reaches out to the right, left hand holds on to the inside of left knee. One breath there. This is Holy Tree. Gently releasing that foot down, and again have a little shake out, shake standing legs, shake your tail feather, have a wiggle, and then we're going to ground down, wiggle it all, and then ground down through the left foot, and we're going to bring right foot into those gate openers. So if you need to take a moment to catch your balance on this side, lift and lower the toe a few times. If it feels okay to go straight in, just opening those gates out to the side, across the body, up, wide and down. A couple more. And then we're going to find our tree, so that right heel might stay on the top of the left foot, the sole of the foot might come to the side of the calf, or you might bring it a little bit higher up. And I always say that the way your tree looks is largely dictated by the texture of your leggings or your trousers often, so don't get hung up on it. Let go of what it looks like, be with how it feels. Maybe hands want to stay on hips or they want to be out wide. We hold there for a breath. If that feels okay, then maybe you want to reach hands, fingertips reaching up for the sky like leaves reaching for the sun, and holding there for a nice long breath or two. And then a final challenge. Can you bring right hand to right knee, release the foot from the leg, take left hand out wide, find that holy tree. Oh, the glutes are working, piriformis. I don't know about you, but I can feel the muscle for the external rotation of this hip really firing hard. Maybe toes pointed. Can we hold for one breath? Slowly and with control, release that foot, let it down, and let's have a shake out. Let's swing. Toes turn out slightly, feet are slightly apart, arms hang like dead weights from the shoulders, and we swing side to side. Oh. How big can you make your swings? The hands tapping you on the back at the end of the swing. And then make them a bit smaller. Make them a bit smaller. Make them a bit smaller. Heels under hips, back to standing mountain, palms shine forward, crown reaches up, and one long, slow, mindful breath here. And then we're going to come down onto our mats. We've got a couple more poses before relaxation. So on your knees, toes pointing back, and then we're going to slide bottom back towards heels as far as it will go. And we're going to slide hands out along the floor in front of you as far as they will go. So if bottom doesn't reach heels, that's fine. If forehead doesn't reach the mat, that's fine. You might want to, if you've got a blanket or a cushion handy, you might want to tuck it between your bottom and your heels. Or if you've got another one, a block or a cushion handy, you might want to have it for your forehead. Wherever you are, fidgeting and having a, getting settled into a child's pose of some sort, where you can breathe into the back of the body, the back of the hips. We've done a lot of work there, balancing and putting tension in, so breathing that tension out. That little flow that we did a moment ago with the goddess poses, and that was for the strawberry moon tonight. Have a little think. If it's a clear, I don't think it's going to be a clear night here, but you might get a glimpse of a full moon. We've saluted her. One more breath in your child's pose. You can stay static if you're just loving being still. If you want to, you might slide a cushion or whatever out of the way of your forehead and just walk the hands over to the right and feel length down the left hand side for a breath. And then walk hands over to the left and feel length down the right hand side for a breath. And then when you're ready, walking hands back to centre, using the strength of the arms to walk yourself back up to kneeling. And then we're going to swing legs around. We're going to come down to lie on our backs. In a moment, we'll be coming to relaxation. So if you want to grab a blanket, cushions, eye pillows, have all of your stuff handy so you can be super comfy in a moment. Don't put them on just yet, but have them around. We'll come down to lie on our backs. Hug knees in to start and have a little rock left to right. Then take the feet wide and rock the knees, so feet come back down to the floor but as wide as the yoga mat. And then gently allowing the knees to rock from left to right and gradually making them bigger. Until, if it would feel good for you, allowing the knees to pause with the knees over to the left. Have a little fidget and then settle, so the knees are over to the left, the feet are quite wide. And you can stay there, or if it would feel good, you can take the left heel and hook it on top of the right knee. And just, if it's tight, if it doesn't feel good, then you can come back to, release the heel from the knee. Otherwise, take a breath there and release through hips and lower back. Take that heel off that knee, gently float knees up past centre, over to the other side. Have a little fidget, let them settle. If it would feel good, hook right heel on top of left knee. Breathe long. Release heel, knees back to centre. And then check in with your body. Is there anything else, any other movements or stretches or shakes or tense and release that you need to do to help you settle into stillness? We've got about 10 minutes for stillness today. So what do you need to do to help you be really comfortable in that stillness? Cushions or pillows under the knees are lovely. You might lie on your back or you might like to lie on your side, but if you're lying on your side, make sure you've got lots of padding underneath you. Get yourself really comfortable. I'm going to blow my nose while you guys do that. Eye pillow, something light over the eyes if you've got an eye mask or a little eye pillow or a scarf or a clean sock, the sleeve of a jumper. Anything will do, but something over the eyes can be lovely. Everything is optional. Begin to tuck yourself in. It's warmer, but it's not hot yet, is it? A blanket over the top might still be nice. Taking time to care for yourself and get yourself comfortable and ready for rest. Once you're settled, we're going to start with a tense and release, which we've done before. But we'll start with our 3 deep breaths and then we'll do our tense and release. So to get comfortable, but we'll start with breathing all the way in through the nose. Really long, slow exhale through the mouth. 2 more of those. Maybe the last one. Make it as full and in breath as you can. Sip in a bit more air and then maybe an audible sigh on a really long, slow exhalation to nothing. Let the breath do what it wants. Call to mind the intention that you set at the beginning of the session. Just contemplate for a moment what it is that you want to cultivate. What it would mean for you to feel more of and be more of, have more of that quality. What it would mean for you. And then let that intention go. Drop it into the subconscious to be taken care of. And then we start with the tense and release, we start with the feet. So if you know you're prone to foot cramp, then maybe miss this one out or do it very gently. But otherwise make really tight fists with your toes. Scrunch them tight, take a deep breath in, squeeze the toe fists as tight as you can. Tight feet, tight feet, tight feet. And then on a long, slow exhale, spread the toes and let the feet completely relax. And then the legs. So making the legs rigid as you breathe in, tense calves and thighs. Kind of maybe you're trying to press them down into the floor or the surface beneath. Tight, 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 breathe in and hold. And then on an exhale, let them lengthen and relax and become easy. The glutes, the hips, as you breathe in, tense your buttocks, press your hips up. Hold your buttocks tight, pelvic floor, lower abdomen, upper thighs, hold it tight, tight, tight. As you breathe out, relax. Let yourself become a puddle on the floor. And then torso. So this one, we're going to go against the breath. So as we breathe in, we're going to imagine that we're squeezing the breath. Draw your tummy in, imagine you can compress your rib cage. Squeeze the breath, but breathe in, hold at the top. And then as you breathe out, just relaxing the whole of the torso. The arms, biceps and lower arms. Breathing in, make them rigid and tight. Maybe it's helpful to press them down into the floor or the surface beneath. Hold at the top of the in-breath, arms are super tight. Breathing out, it's like they lengthen and release. Let them relax completely. Tuck thumbs into palms, relax fingers, bend fingers round thumbs and squeeze your thumbs. Breathe in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe out, let the fingers float outwards and relax and be heavy. Arms and hands are heavy. Breathing in, shoulders drift up towards your ears, away from the floor. Hold at the top of the in-breath. As you breathe out, float them down. Give all of their weight down into the floor. The face. Breathing in, tighten your jaw, but not to 100%. Be a bit gentle with the jaw, but prune the lips, the eyes, the nose. Bring all of your focus to the middle of your face. Hold at the top of the in-breath. As you breathe out, imagine your features just sinking slightly on your face, just completely relaxing all of the facial features. And we're going to do that one last time. We're going to do the whole body all at once. So tuck in your thumbs, wrap your fingers around, make fists with your toes. As you breathe in, clench yourself so tight like you're trying to suck all of your limbs into the middle of your body. Tight, tight, tight. Face is tight, jaws tight. And then as you breathe out, deliver your body down onto the earth. Let the earth hold you and let go. Let go, let go, let go. Take a couple of really long, slow, cleansing breaths as you just allow all of those muscles that have worked so hard to relax fully and completely. Bring awareness to the sounds that you can hear furthest away. Drift the awareness nearer to the sounds in your building. Drift the awareness nearer still to the sound of your own breath. Very soft, natural breath. Just resting in awareness of the sound of the breath as it comes and goes. Welcome all of the sounds to be just as they are. Welcome all that you feel to be just as it is. Welcome all of you to be exactly as you are. No need to change anything. So, allowing the whole body to relax. Let go of everything, no need to be anywhere else, do anything else. Give all of the weight of the body into the floor and relax completely. Take your next breath just slightly deeper, but before there's any need to move, I will read a poem. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold. The holding of plans, of dreams or expectations, let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. That's Let It Go by Dana Folds. And with that idea, gently deepening the breath again and allowing the breath to carry you back into your body, bringing awareness back into the room. Maybe taking your arms up overhead and having a whole body stretch from fingertips to toes. No hurry, just gently easing yourself back into Saturday morning. Maybe hugging your knees into your chest and giving them a great big squeeze. Taking a little pause and just saying a little thank you to yourself for making time to come to yoga today. A little thank you for the other lovely ladies who've come here and shared the practice. And a little thank you for the ancient wisdoms of the teachings themselves. And then when you're ready, gently bringing yourself up to sitting. And once you're there, we'll take one last big breath together as we breathe in. Sweep your hands wide, palms together above your head. Breathe out, thumbs to your heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on. Namaste. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I'm so sniffy.